Okay, I will call the meeting to order, 6:05. The meeting of the Town of St. Joseph Parks, Trails and Rec Committee, May 15th, 2024, hereby provided a written notice and the agenda of the public meeting as stated below. There's an opportunity for public comment as noted on the agenda and upon recognition by the presiding officer. Let's see, call to order stated. Roll call. Welcome Tammy to the committee. And
So is she?
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Tammy now officially?
Yep, she's official. Yeah, yes, you're official as an alternate. You and Kyle's the alternate. And Nina, Mark, and me and Pat are members. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, excuse me, liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Any discussion? Okay, that passes. Do I have a motion for approval of prior meeting minutes for April 17th? Pat just passed them out. So if you're at the meeting, you can look through it. I looked at them earlier. I'll second it. Any discussion, or does anyone want more time to read it? You're good? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, that passes. Okay, that's passed. I have the updating meetings and events. And public comment. First thing, I'm not sure. I think Justin is going to be our town board representative. I can look and see if he's zoomed in.
Is that who you're gonna sign?
I don't know for sure.
I left the meeting before the president told me.
Yeah. She didn't say at the meeting, at the town board meeting, Teresa just asked if anybody had any questions on their assignments and nobody did. So she didn't say what they were. So I don't know, but she had told me that she thought it would be Justin and Matt would be the backup. But I don't know that for sure. Is there a way I would, yeah, his name would come up there, right? If he was online. Okay. And then, I don't want to put you on the spot, Tammy, but is there anything that you want to like say about yourselves? Or we could probably all go around. Should we all do that? We can all go around and say something either about ourselves or something that maybe Tammy doesn't know.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? I'll start.
How about you start?
I'll start since it was my idea. I just came up with it. Ding, ding, ding. I'm Janet Lindstrom. I started on the Parks, the Parks Committee we had one way back in the day, way back.
Way back.
And Nina was on it and then it went away for a lot of years. And then the chair at the time, Tom Spaniel, wanted to bring it back. And so he started it again, I think 2013. And that's when I started and Kyle started, you started again. I think you did, Pat, or no, you
I
came
did
a
it
little bit later.
2014.
Okay. And so then it was reinstated. So, and since then we've had a few members come and go, but it's basically been us along with Mark and Lori.
Yep.
And, I like all things, active outdoors. So, not just bike trails and pedestrian trails, that's probably the main thing, but, parks, walking, hiking, anything active is an interest for me. And that's kind of how I got started on this. So, and we just lived down the road on County Road E. That way. So just, it's like 0.8 of a mile from here. Yeah, yeah, very, very close. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So my background, I actually grew up in Holton. I went to Holton School. Back in the day when we had a Stillwater address, we went to school in Holton and, when some kids went to Somerset, it was just a little confusing. I also like active things. I am a water bug. I love to sail. I love to swim. We have a cabin up north that we spend a lot of time at and stuff. And my background is in Parks and Recreation. I have my undergraduate degree was from La Crosse and just in programming, and then my graduate degree was in park planning from Indiana University. So I did have a little background in that. I have 2 boys that they're kind of the center of things that happen. And they're they're in their 30s now, they're getting old, 31, 34. And so a lot of what I see is the interest in stuff that they have. Like they're so ecstatic about the state park having mountain bike trails now that they can access like across the street from our house, those kinds of things. It's fun to see all the excitement there. So, but yeah, I've got a lot of history with that. I know everyone in the Holton graveyard. I grew up with all of them.
You are our historian.
So, well, at least for the last 68 years.
And you also like kayak.
I love kayaking. That's kind of my favorite sport. Yeah.
And biking too, I know.
Yeah, I don't bike as well as I kayak though.
Yeah.
But I love going down small rivers with little rapids and fun stuff. And so, yeah, so that's kind of my highlighted things.
Well, I mean, Veronica, you see my accent, I will never lose that. So I didn't grow up here in Holton. I'm from Europe. I'm originally from the Netherlands and moved around the world and ended up here in this country. So I moved here, I think it's probably in 82. So it's almost 40 years and still have an accent. So I got here, I went back to the university here and I got my degree in landscape architecture. And then it was the park committee, and it was on the planning committee too, but the park committee was the first time I had experience with what it is all about in a small town. And then it was closed. But landscape architecture, nature, it's what is my heart. So maybe a little bit opinionated sometimes, but.
Yeah. But you know what you're talking about.
Well, I make mistakes probably sometimes when we do some measurements over there. Right? But anyhow, that's me. I love to be outdoors. I have 2 kids who studied here at the university too, and one lives in Detroit and the other one lives right behind us. So, and I have 3 grandchildren. So.
And you just live down on V, really
Yeah,
close.
I live right here in that S-curve. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm Kyle Lindstrom, so I'm her Janet's husband. I've been on since the committee reinstated as well. I was off for a little bit, only doing volunteering, and then there was a need for a seat to be filled, so I came back on. It actually makes my volunteering easier because I don't have to have a supervisor or somebody come and oversee me.
Yeah.
I've been maintaining, so the preserve, I was very, involved in putting that together with Nina and cutting trails and all that. And I do all the maintenance of the trails out there. I'm outdoors person like everybody else here. I've done a lot of road biking over the years, kind of transitioning more to mountain as of late because of the park putting in those trails. It's been quite handy. We have 6 grandkids. I don't know if Janet mentioned
Oh, I
that.
didn't say that.
So some are in Baldwin and some are down in Milwaukee, so 3 in each, but anyway. That's about all.
And Kyle works a lot.
Yeah, I'm retired, but I work a lot on projects.
It felt like you were here.
Yeah.
Yes. You have a lawn tractor that you like to use and you're volunteering your time and your lawn tractor.
Yeah.
So with that, we can get a lot of work done. So.
He's the hands-on guy.
I am. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So anything that you want to share, or do you want to say anything, Lori?
Yeah,
Lori's, yeah,
I can pass. Whatever you want.
it's up to you. I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay. So let's see, I ended up in Hudson, Wisconsin because of my studies and interest in architectural crafting. And a job had me end up in Hudson, working for the lumberyards. That's how I ended up here, right out of school. So I was 21 years old when I moved here. And all I knew was one gentleman I lived in his parents' house. Yeah, yeah, him and his wife, so. That's how, that's how I ended up in the area, but I grew up and was born and raised in Birchwood, Wisconsin. And I have some family that lives in Barron County, Washington, they own property in Sawyer County. So in addition to my husband Doug, we have 2 children the same age as Pat's. She's a 5th grade teacher and he's a pipe fitter over in the cities. Plus we have twin grandchildren. I ended up I started on the plan commission after there was a note at the fireman's ball that they were looking for volunteers.
Hmm.
That's
how it started?
Started, and that was pre-bridge. And there was a lot going on with ordinances and different things. And I met Tom Spaniel and Tom kept me in the loop on the parks. So that's how I kind of ended up in parks.
Okay.
My basic interests are, first of all, here's what I am not. I do not do large muscle exercise and I have no coordination. I do not have any coordination to do pickleball, softball, any of those things. I don't own a bicycle. I do not know how to swim and I do not run. I do strongly believe that should be an organized trail system that within a municipality and people off the roads, and to be able to encourage that, I feel that it's an important part of the community. It's a big project and it's a long project and it takes decades to get it done, but I support it all the way. And for funsies, I really am truly a nature buff. Birds and flowers and trees and then probably a tree hugger. And I'm also a seamstress and have done multiple projects from anywhere from daily wear to upholstery and balances and all those good things for everybody except for me. I was a costumer for the Stillwater Nutcracker for 10 years as they were initially starting.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
in addition to that, I also did costuming for the Phipps Center for the Arts, including the dance troupe that they have and a couple of their productions. So that's kind of where I fall. I also like to read and I'm a genealogy buff and that's my connection to country.
I
don't know things about you.
I know, me too.
Should have done this a few years
earlier, huh?
Like wine under the radar.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
You know a lot about plants and trees and horticulture stuff. I know that. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
Can I step in, Janet?
Oh,
This is Teresa.
oh, hi, Teresa.
So I'm online with you. My camera's not working, so you don't get to see me tonight, which is probably just fine. Justin is out of town and Dan was not able to be on here tonight, so I'm joining you.
Okay, super. We are just in the process. Tammy is just here, so we're just going around introducing ourselves and she's just about to talk. So do you want to hit your microphone on when you're
Sure. Is there anybody else on since we can't see?
No,
I mean-
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Very good.
Kind of
Just
keep
to
your
make
eye
sure.
on that, Kevin.
All right, well, again, thank you for welcoming me to the committee. I'm excited to be here. I'll just kind of recap a little bit, and for those that I suppose read my application letter, maybe it'd be a little bit redundant. I am mother of 3 kids. They're grade school, junior high age. And my husband and I moved here about 20 years ago. So we're both transplants to the St. Croix Valley area. We're both originally from Iowa, and he was up here working with Cargill post college, so had been up here and we relocated. But our first introduction to the area when we were looking for homes as we were engaged, where we were, as if you're from out of state, we were just camping in Willow State Park. We're like, this is a beautiful area because we weren't sure where we should land. And we're like, oh, let's land in Hudson, St. Joe area. So that was our first introduction. The town I lived in prior to coming up here, Polk City, Iowa, just north of Des Moines. I was volunteered on their park and recreation board there also. And we had put in a new play structure too, very similar out there. And we were doing very active group there too in that smaller town. So background is really agriculture. I definitely love outdoors, but both my husband and I grew up on farms. So Lori has pointed out she's a pretty close neighbor of ours. We live close to Big Ice Barbecue on the highway there. And we're building a barn with the hopes of having our kids do a little bit of farming on their own too, and just, really ramping up 4-H for them in that experience. So I guess what I hopefully bring to the board is just, a little bit more, background in that end, I guess, what else to say? We have a sailboat on the river, so maybe if there's sailors, or maybe we can do a fun activity, but we're in the process of restoring it. You don't have a new sailboat, so, so we have all kinds of hobbies that are outdoors too. The kids were definitely anti-screens, anti-digital, so we make the kids be outside all the time. And so looking forward to just being able to get to know you all and be able to give back to the community.
Okay, great. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Yeah, so Mark, we're just, I think you've met Tammy, but we're just kind of all going around introducing ourselves, and Teresa's online. We can't see her, but she's online.
It's my turn.
Yeah, so it's your turn, Mark. We go.
Have a house in St. Joe for a long time now. My wife and I enjoy living here and being on the park committee. And this new project with the slides has been a lot of fun, except for the real work of it. But a lot of people are pretty happy with it. So,
Great, thanks, Mark. Okay, also for public comment, I wanted to, I didn't get this on the agenda, but Teresa is gonna send out a newsletter, a summer newsletter. Oh, maybe it is on the agenda. Oh, spring newsletter, it is. It's gonna be a summer one. Okay, so we can talk about that at the end. Anything else? Does anybody else have public comment? Anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. Committee meeting updates. Let's see, I don't know if I have anything extra from the board meeting. Everything that was talked about will be on our agenda for us. So I don't think, Teresa, is there anything that you want to update the committee from the board meeting?
Not really. I think we're all up to date with what's on your agenda.
Okay. Sounds good. Ball field dates. I can tell you that, Teresa asked me about that there was holes in the outfield. Marty had talked about the holes, and so we got him together with John Welch, who's the head of the Sandpipers. And they have communicated, and they're the holes are from the fence, and they're going to be putting the fence back in. So he was either going to fill the holes, or they're gonna put the fence back in so that those holes won't be there. Otherwise, I don't think any other ball field updates. They've been using it. Review budgets, the budget sheets that everybody should have a copy of the budget sheets. If you all look at them, do you have any questions about anything? I don't see anything. Any questions?
No,
Okay. Okay, business, discuss volunteer opportunities. Oh, the first one. Oh, I don't have any extra I don't have volunteers here to talk about that. So we will talk about the volunteer stuff as we talk about each project. Number one, appoint, renew committee members and roles. So Mark, Tammy and Kyle are alternates, and you, Pat, myself and Nina are members.
We could change
So-
that.
Does it's. For right now, today, does anyone want to change that? Or any discussion on it? Does anyone else want to be the chair? I don't know how we do you have to officially nominate her. Can we
I
just
would
say
like to
that?
nominate Janet Linsky as chair.
Does anyone else want to do it?
I'm not good at that.
Okay, I'll keep doing it. You guys have all been really good help, so, okay, is there a second?
I will second it.
If all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Can I say opposed? No, I'll pass, okay. Number two, review and discussion of the town of St. Joseph Park properties and the annual work plan updates. Town Hall Park, discuss plantings in May and further work needed around the playground. So an update on that, I think most of you have been, well, some of you have been updated. Todd Tuma is doing the work. Teresa gave him a work order to do the work for out here. And he has started, and today, there was dirt piles out there from before, and he could use those, so they removed them, or he removed those dirt piles. And then also started doing some of the grading around the steps. He's going to start tomorrow, but it's going to rain maybe, so he got started on that today. So that part, so that's done, it's been started, and he'll continue.
so this morning I went over and removed all the mats, took all the bracing that was there from when the install part and took that all off there, so. And I also removed the net, the roping or whatever, so that's out of the way, so Todd can get in there and clean
Yeah.
on there, so then I let Todd know that it was ready to go, so that's why he showed up.
And so the next step is, so tomorrow, if he was gonna be here in the morning, I think, Nina, you were gonna maybe pop in.
I will swing
And
by in the
and
morning.
Kyle can pop in.
Yep.
Just to see how things are going, or if he needs anything. There isn't
Yeah.
any real physical work that's needed. It's not until he's done.
Yeah.
For now. And so the next thing will be when he's done is to put the mats back
Yep,
and plant the grass seeds with that, or do you just stick with the mats first?
we have to put the mats, well, he needs to put some black dirt before
Okay,
we
black
put
dirt,
the.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, when he finishes grading, then he's gonna
He
put
will
the black
some-
door.
Some
Black dirt,
and then we put the mats on, and once the mats on they're staked, then we can do the seeding with the no mow grass, so it's a really low growing grass. So they don't have to mow underneath,
okay. And we're gonna get that,
yeah,
okay.
but I wonder. Because the grass can be seeded just even a week later, but we have to get all the plant material for the rest, so, and it will come from the same place.
Okay, so
So
we'll
I
get it then.
think, yeah, I think, and I talked with Kyle, he has a big trailer. And hopefully between your pickup truck and the trailer, we can load everything up and bring it up here.
Okay,
And I think the day of the planting of the plants, we can use a lot of manual labor, just digging holes. So maybe, because there's
definitely.
a lot of plants digging holes and plant the plants and cover them up, and we need the mulch. But I don't know who is going to bring the mulch. Is that Todd
Todd.
bringing?
Yep.
He bringing the mulch?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. So the next thing is after he does the black dirt, we'll do the mats and.
Yeah.
So, should we like right now talk about a date to do that, or when that would be about, or do we need to still wait and see when he's done?
I talked to John, and he said he would
Oh,
come
that's
out
right.
because he would make sure that whatever we do is correct, because we had these questions
John, the
about the
playground.
mat by the top of the slide.
Yep.
And I will talk to him. And he said he could come out next week, Thursday evening, and give us some hints how to do. So if we have next weekend and the weather is good, then we should be ready to do a lot of work.
Okay, I'm trying to stay away from weekends.
Well, he said,
But if Thursday evening, next
Thursday evening,
evening,
he could come out.
because then I think it's
And then we
Memorial
have
weekend,
Friday, we
that's
have
Memorial
Yeah, next
weekend.
weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend is Memorial Weekend.
Oh, is it already? I'm
Yeah,
losing
Yeah.
track.
it's early this year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes,
Well, if
So-
we can work Friday, then we can leave for the other week, all the plant material, because
yeah,
once the
which
mats
I'm
are
kind of
installed.
thinking that anyway.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so like Thursday evening and Friday for the mats,
yeah,
we need a few
and then I
people
can
for
try
that.
I can try to get the seating too, because that doesn't feel, I can swing by, just get the seating only. And then we have that one done, and then we need the rest and the plant material.
And then, okay, so
then-
getting the plants is like a day. Memorial Day or the day after, Tuesday,
Well, should only take a
or
couple
you take a
hours
half a day?
just to pick them up.
Yeah. I can try to order them. I had an account. I don't remember, I'm still on there. But I can give them a call. I can
Where's-
prepare that.
Where's the nursery at?
It's Gertens.
Okay.
All the way by
Stillwater.
494 and 52, that area.
Oh, no. okay.
Yeah, downstairs, it's quite a, but they have. Normally you can order them and then go and pick them up. They have them all set aside, so I can. try
Oh,
to
that'd be
get them.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm like picturing you sending me all over the store to get things.
but then I'm looking at the calendar. We are now.
Oh, you're gonna be leaving again. You're going to Detroit.
Yeah, but that's June. So when is Memorial Day? That's the 20th?
So we
20
24th, 25th and 26th or
Yeah,
something?
27th is Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah, so 25th, 26th, 27th. Next weekend.
24th. Are you available the 24th, Mark?
Yeah, I should be.
Friday? Cause you need a few people for that, right? The mats and. Cause they're heavy.
Yeah, I think at least 2 people.
Yeah, and I have to bring up all
All
of
the
that.
other
Yes.
ones you have. still
I have a
at
bunch
So
of
I can
house
see if
friends.
John too. Okay.
So when are we doing the trailer part? Cause Janet, when we're coming back on the 23rd?
Yeah, so the trailer's gonna be the next week, kind of. So 28th, 29th, 30th, we're very available that week.
Okay. So the 28, 29, and 30, I think I will still be here.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I can manage from now on to find out exactly have it ready or not.
Okay, so
I-
hopefully we got everything graded and done, mats in,
Yeah,
all, and the plants will be the last thing we do that.
so
week.
like May 29th, that Wednesday, could that be the planting day? Cause that's when we need a lot of volunteers.
yeah.
Are you guys, are you available? Are you available during the week?
I usually am, that one, there's a.
Okay. Okay, and that's fine, do not worry about that. Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe go
Sally
later, I don't
Cas-
know.
Sally Casperson said that she'd help plant too, so.
Okay, good.
What time?
I-
Yeah.
I don't know, I was thinking like, I don't know, I don't know. What do you,
What is it?
what time would we want to set for planting? Cause I was
I think we
thinking if we
can
go
set-
later, so people are working and want to come after work, I don't know who's gonna want to do that. but-
I don't know. Normally it's better early in the morning, so you can keep working and then have it done. and not
Yeah,
start
and
at
it's
evening.
cooler.
And it's cooler too.
Okay, so like 8,
So-
is that early?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
8 AM. Are you set on it? I'm thinking that we're gonna go get the plants on the 28th. And I think that the next day would be best so that they're not sitting in the trailer.
And if we
The only
can-
other day would be the 30th. Thursday.
Yeah.
But again, I think if we could plan for the 29th and then do what's left over on the 30th or
something.
I think so.
Well, and if we
Or
could
if it
all-
rain-
and
or
if
if it
we all-
rains.
For the plantings, if we could all kind of try to bring a friend or two
Yep.
to kind of help out, that would be nice.
Yep, and I've asked several friends, they've all just said, give me a day, so I think I can get at least several, I'll ask Tom and, Mike, our volunteers,
I take a little break on the 29th.
So-
I've got my open house 1 to 3.
Oh.
Oh.
Can-
That was good planning.
Can we?
I know.
Yes, you can do
Days in
that.
case one weather isn't,
Yeah, well, how
Yeah.
about the next
could the
day?
30th work? for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's try to, I'll keep the 29th and 30th somewhat available for a rain date,
Yeah, okay. Even the 31st if it's needed.
and 31st.
Yep, that's open for us too.
Yep. Okay, that's good, that sounds good, so we've got Thursday, Friday this week, and then 29th, 30th, 31st for the planting. Okay, and then you can coordinate with me on John. I think
Yeah.
Kyle and I are gonna be gone that Thursday night, but if you can meet him and
Yeah.
maybe Mark or
Yeah.
anybody, if you want someone else there.
Yeah, if Mark can be there,
Okay,
it's fine.
okay. Unless we come back, but I don't. think. Okay, so we'll keep in touch on that. Okay, and then anything else that we have to set up for here, for volunteer wise, or that
No,
we know of?
when discussing with Kyle underneath the net there, we're going to put the mats. Initially, I thought we can put some wheat barrier and put some mulch, but that will run away with the rain. So if we have enough mats,
Oh,
it's better to put the mats underneath.
we
So
get tons of.
You think we have enough?
Yeah.
We have a lot
Okay.
of mats.
Okay, well, then we count on the mats, and if not, then we do run the alternative then.
Okay, and then, Mark, I left a message, I think, did you see that I CC'd you for Brad Coulter?
Yeah, you emailed Brad?
I did, but I haven't heard from him. But did you usually text him or call him or,
I usually email him.
okay,
Yeah, and we can do that anytime and that'll go up easy. How about the last step though? When do we want to do that?
Well, that was something we were discussing.
There's, yeah, you have to go up there and assess it because if we put a whole nother one, it's gonna be too high. And then a partial step is awkward for stepping up, so I'm not sure if we can just grade it to make it work.
I
and
think
kind of fill
probably, I think probably the grading, because it will compact with over time.
Yes,
So I think I would do another one like we have now. And the landing, I would leave the landing, otherwise you have to remove the existing 4x that beam and that's going to be a mess. And that's not, there's no problem with having a landing, and then the last step, you're on the top. I feel confident with that. But I will ask John about that, what he thinks.
okay, before we buy the materials.
So you don't
Yeah.
think we need a step right now?
Well,
We need like the same beam, there's a piece of leftover, has to be one step higher. Because it's going to be filled up. Now the soil up to that level underneath the concrete. And the soil has to be raised all the way to the top of the concrete. So for that, we need another beam right in front of
Yeah.
that to hold the soil. And that is the extra step.
It wouldn't be soil, it'd be gravel, wouldn't it?
What?
Wouldn't it be gravel?
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
if we want, we can quick go over, or if we have 10 minutes.
or
you
yeah,
do
or
see-
you can go when we're.
We'll
you can
go-
when
but
we're
after
done.
the meeting, let's go over there and assess it, cause
Okay.
it's
We'll make sure we're done
actually,
while it's light out.
it's sloped down from the fence
Oh, that's right.
down. By the fence is higher, it's almost the right height. And then it comes down and now you're about 4 inches short, it went on that side, so that's what. I don't really wanna be 5 inches above the step, on one side, and
after we're done, we'll go over there.
let's go look at
Do
it.
what you want.
Yeah, and then you're gonna talk to John, and then if John agrees with what you guys decide with, then you can do it before next Thursday, right?
Okay,
You could add that to the, maybe, I don't know, you guys can decide
But
when you wanna get that done.
Janet, but I should be out by 7:30 today. So
Okay.
if we want to get out and have a quick look, I don't know.
let's,
Or you want to look at
yeah,
that?
well, let's just try to run through our,
This ring, yeah, let me know when it's 7:20.
Yeah.
Okay, retention pond discussion, we will discuss that when we're done with the playground.
Okay,
So, well, I'll
Okay.
just keep that on there.
Yeah.
Discuss kiosk update, I don't know that we
Oh.
need,
intersection. If Brad is going to build the bridge, there's the drainage for the detention pond, and I mentioned to Todd that it has to be graded a little bit deeper, otherwise the bridge cannot be built. There will no room to be, that the water runs up. And it has to be probably going at least 6 inches deeper. And it has to run all the way down, so we don't have any water puddling up there.
The retention pond has to be 6 inches deep.
No.
no, the ditch.
no,
Just
the-
the swale,
Oh, the
the
ditch.
swale
Oh.
of the ditch.
Yep, the
yes.
ditch running through the path that we're gonna have a bridge over.
Exactly, so. But when Todd is here, I can, when he's going to work on that, I can be there and we
What kind
can.
of soil do you put down?
We, in the future, when we do the detention pond, we want to put some gravel, big boulders.
Yeah.
Around like a little dry riverbed, that's what the
And will
whole
the-
idea.
Will the little ditch that's going underneath the bridge have that in it too?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
that's the reason it has to be deep, much
Okay.
deeper,
Okay. So, yeah, we need to be clear with Todd on that.
yeah. Okay,
okay, we did that, and, okay, so Town Hall Prairie. Trail signage and location may need to move signs when the construction starts on the new building. Discuss site spring inspection, it's hard to say. Have you probably haven't been out to the prairie or?
no,
I haven't either, keep thinking I'm going to.
Does anyone
Has
know
anyone?
the white tree is?
a white tree?
Yeah.
Well, there's, I mean, our,
White blossoms.
yeah, our crab is all flowering
Oh,
right now at home,
yeah,
so it's probably.
Those are some old apple trees from many years ago, from the old farm, which whatever existed
So
there.
that's,
That-
okay.
yeah.
We've all often spoken of those and I never knew where they were.
Yeah, they're there.
So that's what we have too, because ours must be really old. It's
Yes, it
just,
is. It's original.
yeah. Interesting. Okay, nature preserve. Discuss signs on kiosk. So Nina, that's the sign that, I think that you were working on that has like the emergency information and stuff. That's what that sign is about.
Mhm.
Where are we at with that?
I have not done any.
Okay. And then, I'll just keep that on there. Discuss road signage needed for the preserve after presentation to the board. So, for the next month, so, Pat, you can talk. Wait, first I'll start. So, I don't know, it was like 6 months ago or so, or maybe longer, maybe it's a year ago. We presented to the board to have signs on the outside of the preserve, like this is the preserve here, this is, a park. And then it was, turned down by the board, because they thought that it was going to draw attention to the, park. And the park's not no one's out there or, keeps an eye on it. So, and then when I came back to the meeting to report that, Pat and some of the other members had more information about that and that that the opposite is probably true. So I've been wanting to get that information back to the board. So, Pat has come up with some information that we can give to the board and Nina has some signs.
Yeah, I made the signs.
So that's the background. So go ahead.
Okay, so basically, I just kind of went off my 40+ years of experience working in both city, county parks. And then we also done a lot of things with the state parks too. And I just basically feel that it's my opinion and opinion of some of the members of this group that by encouraging the public to use the parks and have local residents value the park and be out there more often, that we're actually helping to keep a better eye on the park, to maintain the park, have less problems with vandalism, that type of thing. And there's kind of 3 main points to what I've written up. One is encouraging residents to use and monitor the preserve, to make it a safe park, to be out there to use it. It's a lot harder for vandalism to happen when you've got people out using it. So I've got some points on that. My second point is helping residents locate the preserve. I've had people ask me, you know, where exactly is this, or, you know, that type of thing. And just to let them know where it is and where they can access it, and we're not necessarily advertising it to, you know, everyone. I think people were concerned that we were gonna get a lot of out-of-state people that go there, that type of thing, and that's not the case. It's just making sure that the people within our community know, and if they have friends that they want to bring there, that type of thing, to have that available. And the last one would be preventing accidents. Valley View Trail is curvy, it's hilly. You know, driving out there when you come from County Road E, all of a sudden it kind of comes up on you. And I know, I mean, I don't know how many times I've been out there and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is where I turn. And we just thought it would be much more safe if we actually had a sign there to give people a little chance so they're not braking at the last minute. It also is an alternative route now for bicyclists, since County Road E's gotten very busy, and it is a place where the bicyclists like to go out that way to get to the cheese factory, that type of thing. And so just to make it the, you know, the safest possible place that we can make it, so that people know where it is, that they're safe getting there, and we get people out there to kind of keep an eye on things. So that's just where I'm coming from with this information. And I'll make sure that this gets in.
Yeah, well, I have it.
Oh,
gave
you
it to
got
me,
it,
so,
okay, okay.
If anyone, if you guys had a chance to look at it, and I did talk to Teresa about this, and then, I'll send it to her. And Teresa,
Yes,
okay, if you, can you add this to the, well, one, if you have any comments, and two, can you add it to the agenda for the next meeting? And then,
absolutely. We'll add it back onto the agenda so that the board can talk about it. I mean, this is different than what you presented about a year ago, where you wanted the signage on County Road E and I pushing people to the preserve. It's different than just having signage on Valley View pushing them to the preserve.
correct,
The board is very concerned. It's not a big park, and it's not near anything. So therefore, there's no one keeping track of it very easily.
Yep.
Considering some of the issues that have taken place recently in the area, you know, it gives the board a little bit of a pause to wonder how they should manage this. So
yep,
I think it would be helpful for you guys to look at the pros and cons of this and present, you know, something to the board that reflects both sides of that.
yep, okay,
You know, I say that because something happened today that I ended up calling the sheriff on, because we've had an out-of-state car parked at River Road and Trout Brook for 3 days. Car hasn't moved in 3 days. And I finally called it in today because I'm like, what's happened here? Why is this car not moved for 3 days and it's sitting in the ditch? And that's just a very minor thing, but this stuff happens.
yeah, yes, well, and we have had now 2 times, we have had people putting stickers on our signs at the preserve.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know it's because there's not a lot of people out there. But how are you going to manage it if it becomes party central? How's that management going to take place? And those are the things I want the committee to consider, because of the issues we had down on Perch Lake last year that will probably take place again this 4th of July. How do you manage that?
Yeah, so, oh, we're gonna say something, Nina?
Well, yes, Perch Lake has some other attraction than the preserve. It's a totally different approach from my point of view.
Yeah.
Perch Lake has the lake, people wants to go and swim, so that is one aspect. And the preserve is a more quiet, people wants to move. I have seen people just, they want to run and walk to get some exercise.
Yeah.
So it's a different style, to say it in one way,
Yeah.
And then,
And it is, and yet we're still having issues with hunters that, you know, now we're bringing the DNR in. So there's still some conflict going on there that we have to manage.
yes,
Yeah,
there is, and
definitely.
I don't know if I had told you this story, Teresa, or not, but when the day we were out there with, when Kyle and Chris and I were out there with the landowners and walking it, we were in the parking lot and there was, Chris had his big truck there and we had our truck and another truck. And one thing that the landowners complained about is that people are bringing their dogs out there and training their dogs.
Yeah.
And one owner had the dogs all go up on his property. Well, we were standing there talking and we could hear the truck, we could hear the dogs barking before the truck even got there. So it was full of dogs. And he was gonna pull in and he could, I could see his eyes like wide, like, whoa, there's people here. And he backed out and left.
Ah,
You
yeah,
know, if he came back or not, I don't know, but he left at that moment, was very surprised to see all of us there and all the
oh,
trucks.
yeah,
So I think that's part of kind of a Pat's point of, you know, if more people there, the more hopefully you're going to eliminate some of those things because they're gonna see people out there.
right.
Yeah.
And I just think, like I said, you have to present the pros and cons to the board.
Yep,
Because you can't just look at one side of it, or the board is not going to, because the board's gonna have to look at both sides of it.
Yeah,
yeah, yes.
okay.
So,
Just an excellent point on the paper.
yeah,
And
and
to bring out the value of that park and why we want to have signs. I know where the park is and I've drove by it
Well, yeah.
4 or 5 times. And I do think if somebody's looking for the park and can't find it, they're obviously not gonna go there in our own township, you know.
yeah,
So
yes.
you really bring to the point of what we need to look at there, Pat. Thank
So
you.
Yeah.
one of the things that I've come across in the last 3 years being retired is each Thursday I walk at the state park. So in the last 3 years, that's roughly 150 times that I've walked in the state park. I do it religiously every Thursday. I always, and I know a lot about Parks and Rec, but I always feel more comfortable when I'm pulling in there and there's additional people and additional cars. And I have yet in 150 times there to see a park ranger on any of the paths that I walked on. So they are there and they are handling things, but I'm sure they're overwhelmed with things that they're taking care of too. So it's not like they're out walking the trails. These trails are pretty unattended. I think they probably have more people out there, you know, available, not necessarily out on the trails, but that they probably have more people available on the weekends, that type of thing near the falls, because that's where some of the accidents happen. But again, it's like that perception that when you've got someone there and they're watching and, you know, if you've got a family taking a walk, that type of thing. I do agree that having people being able to have firearms out there and stuff. There is, you know, hopefully something that can be decided on that, whether it's they only use certain types of firearms, that type of thing, but it's a shame to have that property and have the trails marked and have the trails and then not have people use it.
Mhm.
And I think the whole question we have, what we're proposing, have just a sign where the park is. Those other issues we have to deal anyhow with it.
Yeah,
But
right.
it doesn't
Yeah.
really affect to the signage, to where the entrance to the park is.
Right.
Yes.
And I
So-
think what you stated about walking the trails in the state park, that's something you should present to the board. The board needs to hear that. Cause there are those of us who walk trails in the state park and there are those who don't. And so, you know, if that's your perception, that's important for the board to hear that perception.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, well, we will, if you can, I'll send the information to you and to Terry for the board anyway for
Sure.
next. But then you can make sure that that's on the agenda and then we will be at the meeting.
And
Good.
if you guys are gonna want to have signage before and after that entrance from both directions, you need to come up with what you want it to say.
Yep, we have that, so I'll send that,
Okay, all right,
because we talked about,
Yeah.
we approved that a couple months ago, so
all right.
sounds good. Anything else on that?
I should just state that we ordered the signs for the boundary of the preserve.
Okay.
And they'll be 3 weeks out.
Okay.
Yep, here, I'll show it to Nina anyway. Yeah, it looked good. Okay, so let's see, anything else at the preserve? Oh, so then, the fence border issue. So as I said, we met with the landowners. Kyle and I walked the whole park with them and Chris Marshall. And it was very good. It was very informative for everybody and, there is a couple places well, all three landowners. There's a spot on the trail that we can just tweak a little bit, might make a big difference. And so Kyle and Chris were going to do that last Thursday, but Chris is not able. So Kyle will do it with our lawn tractor, but he wants your
Yeah, whenever
blessing,
you
Nina,
go
on
out,
the
I can
trail.
go out with you,
Yep.
as long as not tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
After
so
that, I'm
if you guys
fine.
want to get that done, 'cause it's, like I said, it's pretty minor, but
Yeah,
might make a big change for
Yeah.
them.
okay.
So, so between that and then Teresa has sent the letters into the DNR from the landowners. They all had, letters that they sent to the DNR. That's all been submitted. So now we wait for the DNR. They make the decision on
Okay.
what firearms or hunting or whatever. That's all up to the DNR at this
Okay.
point. So that's all been done. And as Teresa said, the signs were ordered. So did all that. Spring inspection, I guess we kind of did it that day, Kyle.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that? I mean, there's just some more some trees that need to be trimming and stuff you said trimmed around
Yeah,
the
that-
trails.
But really pretty minor, yep.
Okay, Perch Lake launch area and parking lot. Discuss recently installed wash station from the DNR. Have you seen it?
I saw.
I did, yeah,
and you
yeah,
saw
I
it?
did saw it too, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I sent a little note to Adam to thank him for getting it out there and stuff, so.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I haven't been by there to see it.
And then they also added correct that they put it online, that they added a trout survey station. No,
No, I
Did they
didn't see
plant
that.
Trout this year there? Did they put some seedlings in? Or
that's
small
why,
trout?
that's why I'm asking if that was.
I remember when he talked to us at one time, Kyle, he talked about they had put some in Bass Lake or what they had was seeded Bass Lake with some fish. But I didn't think that they'd gotten to perch or were they gonna do
Yeah,
that this
I don't
year?
recall that.
I remember him mentioning something about it, but they didn't know when they were gonna do it or whatever, but. So another thing too, if anybody's over to Perch Lake and you actually see people with kayaks or whatever, you can kind of just let them know that there is a station, hopefully. there'll
Yeah, and
be
they have
people
some
there.
signage on it
Yeah.
and stuff, so I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. If they ignore it, they do, but
Yeah.
it's,
But it's nice to see it there, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we run out of supplies, those types of things, you can give me a call or a text. I still have his email on here or on the minutes. So you can email them too and let them know, because they do have money that they can put more supplies and stuff there.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
So,
yes, that's right. Yep, and I think he said they will also, they will stop by.
Yep, they'll stop by occasionally as they're driving by and stuff and check on it and stuff, but.
And Teresa, I have a question for you on Perch Lake and the 4th of July. Is there something that you want us to be looking at or for the future, or I'm not sure what that would be.
Well, we're talking about putting some no parking signs up, extending it further than just at the lake,
Okay,
because it got really tight in there last year. It was very difficult for people to get through. So
If
we
it-
might extend them in either direction so we can handle, control that.
yeah,
Teresa, would they be temporary or would they be permanent?
Just temporary, just for the weekend.
okay.
Cause right now you have no parking right at the lake, but we're talking, they were parked up around the curves on both directions. And they were parked up past the park entrance.
oh, well.
Yeah, wasn't that the day something else was closed and so everybody was going
Well,
there?
the Homestead Park filled up. They
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have,
that's
they didn't have any more room.
But there was something with St. Croix, there's something with the St. Croix that was a problem or something.
They had that bad water in a lot of the swimming areas.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
that's right, yeah. 'Cause of
Yeah,
the-
it was kind of a perfect storm for,
And it may be, but I think if we're gonna control some of this, especially for fire and rescue, we've got to keep that road open.
yeah. Yes. Okay, Thielen Cemetery, discuss on-site spring inspection. Have you been out there, Lori?
Yes, I've been out there a couple of times, as a matter of fact. If you wanna go as a group, I would think that's probably fine. There's no reason not to go as a group, or, like I said, it's up to you. I would say that from the finance standpoint, from the parks, that this isn't a big financial burden for them. If the opportunity to get unused clean trap rock as a part of the town's crack seal and seal coat project, that would be good to, rather than to bring it there rather than to haul it somewhere else. We cannot take the reclaimed stuff off the road though. So the
Oh.
sweepings, so to speak. If it would happen and you get the trap rock and it could be spread out, that would be a good thing. And if it is not done, it is not a crisis. It's just something ongoing.
Do you know about how much?
No, probably a couple of really good sized, I don't know, like a truck,
Okay,
it's a fair amount. It's just it's top coating. Your buckthorn clearance from a couple of years ago did a good job, and there is some, of course, you're always gonna have it there. So that'll be ongoing. Right now, you have your spring ephemerals coming up, which includes your jack and pulpus, the ferns, the elderberry were in full bloom, you got a gooseberry. You have a honeysuckle, and it would be undetermined to me at this point of whether it is a good honeysuckle or a bad one, and I'm presuming it's native and we're okay. You've got a big stand of actual Wisconsin woodland violets, the state flower. And you think, oh, we've got those everywhere in our yards and stuff like that. The violets you have at Thielen Cemetery are not the ones that are everywhere in yards that are short and the flowers are short. Right down, these are pick a bouquet of violets with the long stems with the pretty bearded faces. And they come in radiant colors of purple. So they're just starting to come up, so you've got a few weeks. If you're going to do, and the brush piles have not been added to, other than what I've been, as I've been walking the little pathway, I've been picking it off, and now I started last time I was going inside and I was throwing brush back out and adding it to the pile. So there's, like I said, we could use a couple of hours with a chipper. And that could be chipped and just, I would think maybe thrown on that path on the east side. And,
Is it really small brush? 'Cause
but
then-
yeah, it's fairly small,
Then I would probably rather use my,
or,
my
Yeah.
mower thing,
or.
cause
you
that
would-
chops things up better than my,
You know better than I, there's a.
and it's
you've got-
way faster.
And there's,
Good.
in the center section, there's some bigger chunks of limbs that probably could be cut up and put aside until we had the right equipment, if it was neatly stacked.
Okay,
And I think there's one widowmaker there, there's a very large branch that's kind of hung up between two trees. Not beyond. I don't think it would require professional tree people. And it just has evidence in the outside area, but again, that can wait. Because it is a natural state cemetery, and you don't want to overdo it. But it shows evidence of the storm damage from the April snowstorm and some of the windstorms that have come through in there, so.
okay.
okay. So maybe in
And I was,
maybe in June.
what I was gonna say, a good time that I would think those spring ones are gonna be starting to die down when that hot weather comes, so by the end of June. That would be when you would wanna go in, and that way you could, when you were in there, whatever is
Yeah.
dying down, you're not gonna hurt it. Like, right now, you shouldn't even be in there when
No.
those spring ones are coming out.
Okay,
So at
okay, well,
end of June, please.
yep, I'll put that on there.
Yeah, put it in the minutes for June.
Okay,
Hopefully we
highway,
got this all under control and got the
Yeah.
trails, and
Yeah.
signs done.
Highway 35 rest area. Did you do? a
It looks
spring-
good, I think.
Yeah.
So that'll be on my mow schedule whenever it's time.
You have your one big woodland branch there, but somebody, somebody's
I'll take
probably.
care of that when I mow it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fine.
It's not that big too, it's.
No, it's really not.
Okay, bike pedestrian facilities, discuss TAP grant. Lee, at the board meeting, Lee, from Stantec, presented to the board. That it was gonna cost $58,000. To, get the right of way from the WSDOT and do the engineering on what would be needed for that. And so the board, turned that down at this time. But, the next cycle for a TAP grant would be 2026, which would have to be completed in 2025. And so, so we will need to discuss this in the future on what we want to do and moving forward with that and get it in our budget for 2025 and 2026.
Is there any possibility for going out and looking for a grant to fund your engineering
I-
portion of it?
Oh, it's a good question. I kind of wondered that same thing myself. I would think that there would be.
Because some of the grants are, you know, they're not using it for the planning part, but isn't an exclusion of some grants. That's,
I don't know. I mean, I know like
Yeah.
sometimes they won't include they include everything but the engineering or the engineering plan. So I don't know that. Do you know, Mark? Do you have
The
any?
TAP grant sections don't include engineering costs.
well, that's
Yeah.
why we'd have to go outside of.
Outside of that.
Of the state and that, so we'd have to go to private foundations and other
But-
outside sources.
But I don't think you guys understand what this cost is about. This cost, we have to put forth the engineering plans for this trail to present to the state DOT in order to get them to approve us using their right of way to make that connection. It doesn't have anything to do with the engineering on the TAP grant. It has to do with everything that they require that we present to them in order to get their approval to use that right of way.
Yeah, information that we would need before we could even apply for the TAP grant.
Right, so if you're gonna do this, you want it no later than in your 2025 budget, because it's gonna take a year to get there. Just for the DOT.
I do think we wouldn't do the completion of the engineering on it if we weren't going to get the right of way from the DOT. So that would start even before we would do any engineering.
So Teresa, it would seem to me,
No, you have to get the engineering done first. The DOT requires us to show them where this trail is coming from and how we want it to get to 23rd? How we want it to get there. And they require that full engineering of that section. Complete.
so Teresa,
Or they will consider letting us use their right of way.
Teresa, do you have any documents that you could provide the Park Trail and Recreation Committee that would give them a roadmap to follow, so to speak, on how this plays out other than hearsay?
Yes, it was handed out at the board meeting last month. We'll make sure it gets in the drive.
Okay,
So you're saying that
Yeah.
the board, that information was given to the board, but it has not been provided to the park people, and you're gonna do that?
Right, this is what was provided a year ago by the Stantec as to what the process is. So we brought it back around because Janet requested us to do so. And we don't have the money in the budget this year to do that. So
Okay,
that's why 24 is just not gonna happen. So then they were talking about 25 to 26 or 26 to, whatever the next 4 or 5 years are. So first of all, we need to find the money in the budget, but second of all, it's a year-long process with the DOT.
so you're gonna go back in those the old documents and bring them forward so that it's in a current folder for the park committee, is that what you're
That's what I
saying?
said, I'll just have her put it in their folder for them.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Good.
Anything else on that? Anybody else have any comments? Okay. Okay, Fall Festival 2024 discussion and action as needed.
So currently, just, I think most people know that J&S Greenhouse had a fire, and so
Oh, I didn't know that.
J&S Greenhouse, they lost everything.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I forgot what the date
I was
was
just
on
thinking
it.
today, I thought, when am I gonna get over there?
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
The greenhouse, the house itself too?
No, not the
The
house, but the
greenhouse.
greenhouse. And so, it's gonna take a while, and so, we don't have them, they were part of it and whatever, but what I was gonna do is, see if I could talk to, Redeemer Lutheran Church and see, cause they have an annual plant sale anyway. And I was gonna see if maybe they would bring over some plants and take the plant part of it.
So is Redeemer out in Burkhardt?
Yeah.
They got their plants from Janet's, so they.
Oh, is that where
really?
they got their,
You
oh,
you can try,
Okay.
I would say, yes, that's a good thing, but
Okay.
they were looking to resource them, be able to continue to have, so they could have their plant sale.
I think they have to, and they said it too, but I just saw it this time.
I think so. too.
For May 17th.
yeah, the Redeemer Lutheran Church does, yes. Yeah, I don't know, I'll ask them where they're getting their plants, cause if their plant thing fell through, so I actually was planning to go to that, so. I'll see if I can stop by there quick and just ask them what's going on and talk to them and stuff. I did talk, I think I mentioned last time I did talk with Jan Gavin, and she is working with the 4-H to get their involvement. I did talk with Donna from Family of Christ, and they are now operating with a new pastor and a new secretary of the church. And so she will work with, she said she would like to do it again, and she'll take that over. As a group, we kind of just talked about it, and we decided that this isn't the year to have tractors go driving through. So there won't be that, but, so that's kind of where we are. We're just kind of waiting to see what all happens with the building and the construction. I talked with Zach at, the fireman's, fundraiser. And, he had mentioned that we should get together in the next week or so and kind of talk and how we want it set out. It isn't gonna be as big as last year, but we'll just try to make sure that as people come out of the pancake breakfast, that they actually have those people, have their places set up there. The only problem that we have is last year we used the tables, and that was really that was wild getting the tables from the people, because there were a lot of people at the pancake breakfast and trying to get them set up quick enough for the other people. So we'd probably be asking people to bring their own tables, so that we wouldn't have to worry with that. And if they can't, we'll try to maybe help them out, because I know people that do have some tables, that kind of thing. So it's coming along.
I think just have them bring their own tables.
Yeah.
We can do that. So I know we're gonna talk about the newsletter, but Teresa had asked about information for the fall festival to get in the newsletter.
Okay.
So do you want to do that? Maybe you and Zach can work together on it.
Yeah.
Because you're also gonna change the times a little bit, right?
Right.
The pancake breakfast is gonna be 8.
The pancake breakfast last year was 8 to 10, so,
And then what will be the fall festival?
well, I was
Fall
gonna,
be
I
like
was,
8?
well, I was gonna talk to Zach to
Okay,
see
you
if they want to
don't know
keep it
yet.
at 8 to 10, if they want to do like a 9 to 11, and then we just have as they came out, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Comments that we had last year was that, a lot of kids were in afternoon sports and stuff. And so having it a little early would be easier to get kids to participate, and then they could still do their little sport things that started a little later
Yeah.
on, later.
Or any activities,
Yeah,
weddings
yeah,
or anything.
Yeah,
maybe
there
you
was
still
kind of a
get
lot
to.
going on, so, but,
If you're kind of like. to a market type thing, like if you look at last
Right.
year, most of the farmers market starts at 7.
Right.
It's early bird stuff there, too, so
Yeah.
the Requirement of willing to go. Might be surprising.
yeah. So, yeah, I'll give Zach a call this week and get with them, and we'll have some more
Okay.
firmed up plans by next time.
Okay, and then
And it-
can you put something to Teresa for the newsletter?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think-
I was
I
just gonna
think what you're
pipe in.
Oh,
Just
go
gonna
ahead.
Pipe in and say, even if you don't have everything nailed down, just for having the date and say
Yeah.
in the morning and go to the website for more information. at least it directs them and it gets on their radar.
Yeah, we'll get dates and times so that we can get them in that newsletter, cause
All right.
a
By-
pretty
by
good
June 1st.
opportunity to let people by June first.
By June
Okay,
1st.
all right. It's coming around.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay,
Review annual work plan. I need to maybe either work with Terry or something. I need to figure out how I can get information up there so we can all review this together. But, or if everybody brings a iPad or something, we can all look at it together. But, the annual work plan, what I did is I added the burning schedule to it. I think most of you saw that they did burn out here. So a couple weeks ago now. Anyway, Zach, has a burning schedule for here, for the town prairie and for the preserve. Out till 2026. I guess I must have
Great.
brought it.
Is
with
it
me.
scheduled for it? Do you know what?
Yeah.
For what year is the preserve?
2026, I think.
Okay.
I think next year is gonna be the other side here, the west side. This was the east, then it's gonna be the west, then it's gonna be the preserve, and then go back to the east.
so a
West
3-year
Preserve, every 3
rotation.
years.
Good.
Yep, yep. Yes.
So Janet, can I just interject here? I see that after the burn, that one pine tree got damaged. I'm having Todd take down those small trees on the north side of the driveway there, the box elder, they're dead. We're gonna have him cut those down. Do you want him to trim that pine tree? The one that's by the mailboxes there that got burned in the prairie burn?
And Nina's looking at it from the window.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I think it.
Is it the one there that you could see there?
They're looking at it, Teresa.
Yeah,
Yep.
What do you think?
yeah, they can be good.
Yeah,
I was
Nina
gonna
says yes to have them trimmed.
Teresa,
Okay,
on
cause I'm
those,
gonna have him trim that and he's gonna trim the apple trees and then those dead ones out by the road.
your white pine might recover, it'll do a shed on those and leaf out if that re-needle out too. That's a possibility.
Oh, well, we can leave them and see if you want to. I don't care.
Wait a year. Then I guess.
Yeah, we can wait a
Should we
year.
wait
see
a
what happens.
year?
Yeah, I could see you wanting to possibly limb off like the bottom 4 to 6, probably 6 feet. But yeah, as far as to go through and start cutting off everything that's brown, I'd try and let it do its own thing.
Okay,
And then, you know, obviously come next spring, if it still looks like that, yeah, then you should go ahead and cut and trim it off.
okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, we did that, grant information. I don't have anything updated. I'm trying to find some grant writers. I can do some, I've done some looking myself, but talking about the like for trails, for the retention pond or some of the other things that we have going here. To try to get some grant information. So I'll keep working on that, but if anyone knows anyone who's interested, I know every year I put it in the newsletter or volunteers for that. No one's popped up. So I'll keep working on that, but. Right, I've not been a big. Oh, are you? Oh. Okay, good. That would be helpful. And if anyone just either hears of any grants or anything, I talked to Jill Burke, yeah, and so from Troy Township. She's on their Park and Recs committee and they just got a grant from the Hudson Foundation, Hudson Hospital Foundation. And she said they're great to work with and that was really pretty easy to do. So she was gonna send me some information. I haven't gotten that yet. But that's just something like I wouldn't have thought to go through that, but she had recommended that. So if anyone else has any ideas or anything, let me know. If you hear anything, let us know. Let me know. I do have some information that I had received from someone that I can share that with you. And I don't know if it's up on the Google Drive or not. I'll send it to Terry to put it on there. But I do have a list of quite a bit of some stuff to start looking at. Let me, Terry. Grant info. Okay, spring newsletter. So I, didn't, I think I emailed some of you just right before the meeting to look at this. I only made a couple copies. But, oh, Nina, you guys gotta go. Well, we're almost done here. I have to do an annual report every year for the meeting, and so I basically usually for the newsletter, kind of just use that information. It kind of just says what we did or what we're doing. I can do that again for the newsletter, or do we want to just keep it simple and just have the fall festival in there, or maybe ask for volunteers again? I think one year, somebody said they wanted to volunteer, but, or do you want me to do a whole article? Teresa,
Yeah,
does it matter how big or small the article is for you, like as far as?
no, it doesn't matter, but I think people do like to hear what you're doing, at least a
Okay.
synopsis of what you're doing. I think it
Yeah.
keeps people in the know, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
lots of people have asked me, when's the park, when's the playground gonna get done? When's it gonna get done? Well, if we get this newsletter done next week, like I'm planning, guess what? They'll know.
Yeah,
Well, they'll see
Yep.
things happening.
so, okay, well, I will do that, and I say this every year, I do the annual report, when I think things move really slowly and that nothing gets done, but then I, the annual report, I'm like, oh, done. So that does help.
Yes.
So, okay, so I will do that, and, maybe Tammy, if you want to either help with that, or if you're interested. I've been just doing it sometimes, Pat help, or have Pat and Nina like double check my grammar and such. But we can do that. Okay, anything else? So, anything else for the meeting? Does anybody have anything? Do I have a motion to
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
adjourn? Okay, Mark, a second? Any discussion? Okay. All in
Thank you,
favor? say-
everyone.
What, Teresa?
I said, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Okay, adjourned. I just learned that you don't have to ask for, I think Susan, you don't have to, for adjournment, you have to have a motion and a second for. So that's good, because I laugh every time.
A grand opening at my apartment building on the 29th, in between your planting, 1 to 3.
One,
I've got
three.
some non-alcoholic beverages and
Well, then I'm not coming. Had to bring my own.
Yeah.
Kyle, why did you guys, Kyle? Yep.